You're listening to a DM podcast.
Welcome to Over the Back Fence. I'm Di Edwards.
I'm Nicola Dale, and we're buddies of nearly 4 decades. And yes, we actually do happen to share a back fence.
We do. We love parties, people, inspirational stories, and honestly, making the most out of life.
So join us as we open our hearts, share our stories, and hear from some of the most inspirational people in the world. And have a laugh along the way.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
We have an amazing woman called Jules Robinson coming up shortly. She just blew me away.
Oh, look, honestly,
Like, I'm a bit speechless, which is very rare.
You know, Jules is beautiful inside and out. I think Australia knows her from sort of Married at First Sight, season 6, when she actually...
How brave to do
I
that,
know,
though,
and
Nicola.
she married and fell in love with Cam, and it worked, you know.
I mean,
they've got a baby
to walk
boy.
down the aisle, Nick, just try and empathise for a minute. Walking down the aisle, you're all dressed to the nines as a bride. The guy hasn't even turned around that you're frigging about to marry.
Of course he's going to fall in love
Oh
with
my
Jules.
God. And then they end up marrying. I mean, it's such a, as I say, brave and courageous move. But look what's transpired. They're an incredible team.
They certainly are. They are a real team. That's a great word that you said that, because he absolutely supports Jules and vice versa.
Yeah.
They've got their boy. But also what's with Jules is she's just a dynamo. She's an entrepreneur. Look at the businesses she's got, and she's going to, you'll hear all
Amazing.
about it in the interview.
To me, it's move over Kim Kardashian. It's
exactly.
I
Well,
think
she's
Kim's
got
is
Figur.
Skims, right?
Yeah,
now Jules has got
Figur.
Figur.
And-
Great name.
And
Brilliant,
she's launched
brilliant.
it in the UK,
Yep,
and it's
yep.
just gone
Huge.
gangbusters
And you know
there.
what I love about Jules? She's actually, for someone that's so dynamic, she's very calm.
Oh, she calm.
And I'm like, really? I'd be like,
And she's got the successful podcast, and
yeah.
she's got the
And now
fashion
she's got,
label
the,
as well.
The
more,
dresses,
more,
I had a peek online.
Oh, they are so
I wouldn't mind
beautiful.
grabbing a
and
couple
she's
of those.
got hair and makeup, Status Republic, which we've
Yeah.
been to. And look,
We have.
Hey, we'll stop talking.
Did they
'cause you've
do
gotta
anything
hear her.
with this face? Yeah, well. So
everyone,
everybody enjoy
enjoy
Jules.
Didy, we
Nick a
are,
wick.
talk about being excited.
Yeah.
Look who's at our back fence.
It's someone I've admired from afar for a long time.
We've got Jules Robinson,
Yep.
who's the entrepreneur and just an amazing woman.
Dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've met her socially a few times, and we're just in love with you.
You read a bio and you just need a Bex and a lie down. Yeah. Like, what doesn't she do, I guess, is the
Exactly.
question.
That's
so
right.
welcome, Jules.
Oh, thank you for
Over the
having
back
me.
fence.
Yeah, I'm finally here. We got there in the end.
Well, so you know what, as Di mentions, you know, you fell in love with Jules from Married at First Sight, and I suppose a lot of Australia first sort of got to know you from that TV series. How was it for you?
It was, I explain it like an explosion that you could never prepare for. You know, as much as you know that you're going on this show and all these, you know, the whole country's going to know who you are, but it was just so intense. I mean, that series globally did extremely well. It was, I just think it hit all the points of what people wanted to see. It was a crazy, crazy time. I didn't go in there with any expectation. I went in there not thinking beyond my wedding day, and I just went in there as myself, and that was my game plan, just be
Funny,
myself.
I was going to ask that. Did you try and manifest something? This is the man I want.
Do you know, it just felt like a really extreme date. Like I was like literally the face of Bumble. Like I was dating all the time.
The face
I was,
of Bumble.
I joke
great.
and say I was like my first ambassador role was a Bumble.
Wow, that's amazing.
So to me, it just felt, I just was like, what have I got to lose? I've looked at the whole world.
Attitude.
And let's just go and try this. If I don't like him, I would just leave. And remembering like MAFs was big because that series before really set it up. You know, everyone just started to watch it, series 5. And then I guess series 6 was when it really went, you know, everywhere. So like, yes, it was a big deal, but it turned into a big deal, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I just went in there with faith and hope and with the game plan, if he sucks, I'll leave. And also just have integrity and be myself, because then I can't go wrong. So
I still think it's a bloody brave, courageous move to go onto
absolutely.
a show like
I
that.
think it takes confidence to do that.
definitely took courage. Took courage. And I think as a woman, like on any kind of platform, if in any certain way, if you're a boss or just putting yourself out there, like you got to step into your empowerment and have courage. And, you know, and people are quite judgmental as well, you know, so you've just got to stand in that and be like, I like who I am. I like myself, and not everyone can like you. And I totally accept that. But it is hard when you're just being yourself, you know, like when you're an actor or something and you're acting someone, be like, I'm just being me. Like, so it was a lot, and it's been a lot of, an amazing journey. And I think actually it's made me a kinder person as well, going through, you know, the ups and downs of reality TV. And absolutely, I got, you know, the most beautiful man in the world. I've got a gorgeous child. And, you know, as much as it's been amazing, there's been some hard times, you know, that come through that process of being on that platform. So, but yeah, I think it's made me a kinder person from dealing with that, and also being like, oh, I'd never want to make someone feel like that, or to...
That's the last thing I actually expect you to say, because, you know, like, it's very ego-driven, that industry. I don't think it's beautiful she's saying it made me a kinder person.
Yeah.
Like, could you expand on that?
Is
because
it the trolls and the nasty people that hit you?
Yes.
How do you turn that around?
Yeah, I think just the preconception that people can have of you, or who you are, or a little piece that they've seen, and then they decide that that's who you are. So I think it's made me more open to people, to never judge. Definitely trolling. You know, I've done my little bit in that game to help, you know, change that. Digital intelligence, I think, is really important, like, for the future of our children as well. So yeah, no, I think it's been a roller coaster. You know, when I look back at it, I'm like, oh my God, this was my life, and it all makes sense. You know, when I put all the pieces together, but in the moment, it was definitely a leap of faith. That was definitely crazy.
I love when she just says putting all the pieces together, because honestly, if we look, Nick and I are just chatting about, you know, what you do, like, seriously, like, for example, Figur. Go figure.
Go figure.
Go figure.
Go figure.
I mean,
because we actually went to your Figur launch.
Yeah, we did.
It was fantastic. But tell us about that.
So Figur was actually kind of created...
Figur, by the way, for listeners.
With no E on the end.
Yeah.
So Figur was created kind of off the back of MAFs. I went in there, you know, I've always said I had an amazing life. I didn't go in there to change my life. I've had a very successful career in my own right before going on there. And sitting around that dinner party for 3 months, I would just wore all different brands of shapewear, and it'd roll up, it'd roll down, it'd be so uncomfortable. And, you know, and I'm on television, like, I want to feel my best and look my best. And also one thing, I didn't like my microphone pack on my bra because I felt like a hunchback on the side.
Wow.
So I loved it down the back of my shapewear, just on top of my bum. So I'd be at the dinner parties and obviously have a beautiful dress on, then I'd go to the toilet and everything would end up on the floor. Like the dress, you know, the shapewear, I'd be holding this microphone pack in my hand, just being like, okay, this is shit, you know, like, this sucks. So then coming off the back of the show, having such a beautiful rapport with the public and thousands of women, you know, back in the rookie days, you read everything, and having such beautiful feedback of women just saying, like, you represent me. Like, I see you in me, and I've got a body like yours, and I wish I had your confidence. I wish I could dress like you.
I've got goosebumps.
Yeah, but it was really clear that a lot of women didn't think they were enough just because of their body. And then, but on the other hand, to be trolled and body shamed for the same thing, I was like, let's put this together. Let's make my superpower, which always made me feel amazing, which was shapewear. You know, even though it rolled down and up for those 5 minutes at the beginning, I'd be like, this feels really good. So that's where Figur was created, and it was really important to, you know, obviously make this amazing brand about inclusion. And because if women saw themselves in me, I want everyone to see themselves in everyone and feel a part of something. And so that's how Figur was made, and now it's gone on to win multiple awards, which is incredible. And it's really the impact that it's having on women is just the most humbling
And you have a tribe, a following. Like, we met them, didn't we?
Amazing.
Down at
you launched there too. But what about also you went and launched it in the UK? And I just have got this image of these beautiful women on an open double-deck bus.
Yes.
Is that right?
And wearing the Figur underwear.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that would have been a minefield.
All shapes and sizes. It just looks so much fun.
Yeah, do you know what? It was the most amazing day. Like, the universe was looking after me. It was the hottest day in England. It was 32 degrees. I had a double-decker bus wrapped, and I did a call out, and I had thousands of women apply to be the ambassadors.
Oh, how did you do a call out?
So I did it through socials, and I did it through the website. So
hello.
Yeah. So those women you met were part of the Amplified campaign. So that was a campaign.
I call them the Figur tribe.
Yeah, the Figur tribe. And so that campaign that you guys were at was about mums and daughters, because there's so many layers to Figur. It's not just about shapewear. You know, it's about conversation starters. It's about women just feeling equal and feeling heard. And so that campaign for me was putting myself into it. Like, I put a lot of myself into that brand, which was sometimes the relationship with your mum can be really hard. And let's talk about that, you know, because we all love each other very much. But at the root of it, sometimes it can be really, really messy. It was a really beautiful campaign, and it was really lovely to see those different dynamics of mums and daughters together. But going to England, went back to the roots, which was the Figur movement. And oh my God, we painted the town pink. Like,
and you know England because you lived there for quite a long time.
I was there for 14 years. Yeah. So I have found I was meant to have 10, but I've got 13 women now flying the flag in England for the brand.
That. 3 extra had to come.
Yeah, I just couldn't decide on 10. So they, as I said, with Figur, as being a conversation starter, one of the women that I've chosen, she's a size 6 to 8 and she's 29 years old. She's beautiful. She woke up one day and she couldn't go to the toilet, so she has a catheter. When I chose her, because she wrote so well, and I was like, this is awareness. This young girl woke up one day and was like, I can't go to the toilet. And so she loves shapewear for that reason, because it makes her feel supported and strong.
Gorgeous.
And when I rang her, within 3 minutes, I learned so much from this girl. And I was like, people need to know about that. And she told me the stats on where this happens to young girls. And she's like, yeah, I don't feel, I didn't feel sexy.
And why did it happen to her? Was it just a medical thing or out of the blue?
She's a nurse herself. She does not know. And then another woman I chose, she has alopecia, who's really pushing those boundaries of beauty standards. Yes. And she's just owning it. And then I've got another woman who's 70 and she was an ex-BA flight attendant. And she was like, her application was, I just feel unseen. I've just gone through menopause. I feel not myself anymore. I've lost my sparkle. And then another woman who I just wanted to hug when I saw her video application, and watching those women like come back to life. They even did a little speech to me at the wrap party, and they gave me flowers, and they were like, you've ignited us up again. And like, for me, it makes me emotional. It's the most humbling experience my mission of just work what you got. Like, your size does not define your purpose or your potential or your happiness. You do. And underneath that material, it holds you in and it makes you stand taller. It's actually all you. Like, it really is. And that was what I got from being on that platform. And I really had to go, I like me, because there was so much hate on physically how I looked. And I was like, wow, I've never questioned myself. And I'm curvy and I'm, not your generic person that goes on a reality show, I guess, in that sense. But that was what I took from it. And it's amazing that I know that I'm actually making a difference in women's lives.
Sure. So you've gone from shapewear to moving into a whole nother arena.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Empowerment.
And like with the shapewear too, and you've got your beautiful dresses too, because you've got your fashion label as well.
What's that called again? It's Moira Muse.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I love them.
Thank you. So Moira in every language means fate and destiny. And as I said, when you connect the dots, you're like, okay, this makes sense. So that was what Moira meant to me. And Muse to me just meant women becoming their own muse. And that's size 6 to 24. And it's not fast fashion, it's slow fashion. They're beautifully made clothes that will, stand the test of time, but inclusive. I've had moments in my life where going into a shop and you're trying to find something, and when you've got curves and you've got boobs and you've got a bum and you walk out in tears, like you just feel so deflated and so unhappy.
You're squashing it over the boobs.
And I just was like, let's try and make a difference in that aspect. So that's been another great little baby. And I think, my purpose was, as a hair and makeup artist, was always to make people feel fabulous. Like that was my purpose from the age of 5, painting my mum's face and doing her hair. So now I guess I'm just channeling it in a different way and doing it through body positivity and self-acceptance. We can't all feel fabulous every day as much as we'd love to, but as long as you know that, what, you can just feel good, no matter what shape, age, size you are.
And your hair and makeup business too with Stella's Republic.
Yeah.
It's just, we had some makeup
we had
done
some fun
hair
there and some champagne.
And
so tell us about, tell the listeners about that. Down at Barangaroo. I was so impressed with it.
I've done this and I've done that.
Well, let's say what's ahead of you.
Doing, though. It's just
it's been a crazy time. So before I went on Married at First Sight, I managed Blow and Luxe, which was in Barangaroo. So it's a cocktail bar and blow dries. And
blow dries and a cocktail bar.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, to me, they certainly go hand in hand.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
Yes. So now moving forward to 2023, I've recently have purchased the business back, I've done the full circle, gone back to my roots of hair and makeup, and I love it. Like, it's in my blood. But now we've changed the business. It's had a full refurb. It looks fabulous. And we've also created it into an event space as well, and doing cuts and colours in there as well.
So is it open full time?
It's open full time.
Okay. Yeah. Cuts and colours, makeup.
You know what I like, Di, is too, that you can go there before you are going to an event. So you go there and get your hair, makeup done, have a glass of bubbles, so you're feeling good, and then you can rock up to the event and bingo.
It's brilliant.
It's just a great great
I
location
think the concept's
as well.
great. Status Republic, Barangaroo, look it up. We did it before the Camilla function.
We did. That was
Yeah.
great. Wasn't
Yeah.
it? With
It was
Camilla?
good fun,
Yeah.
isn't
Camilla
it?
booked it out so everyone can go, have a little bit of makeup, have
And we
hair
know we'd
done.
be
She danced on the
It's-
bar. You can dance on the bar if you
Yeah,
want.
it's
Exactly. But we
brilliant.
love that with
So
Camilla because she's
cool.
all
Yeah.
inclusive for all,
Very.
size,
That's so
shapes,
true.
genders,
That's
whatever.
a very good point.
It really is.
You two have a lot in common in that sense.
I love Camilla.
Yeah.
We met and just like loved each other. So and that's been a wonderful friendship
and dynamic women. But I tell you what, he's certainly a lucky man marrying you. But I have to say, you're a lucky woman marrying him too. Because
Yeah.
isn't Cam a lovely man? And he just seems to be your
gentle
rock.
too.
Yeah.
Is that
Great
correct?
team.
Yeah, I mean, when we first met, we very quickly kind of realized that we both had done a lot of work on ourselves, that we kind of met at the same point, that we were both ready for love and to be open to what we were about to endeavour together, which is what, no offence to anyone on MAFs, but that's generally where it goes wrong. You got your blinkers on. This is what I like. This is my taste. This is it. And I was like, everything I've done's been wrong till now, trust me. Like I've dated a lot of shit,
Yeah,
man. So,
Hey for Jews.
so the
It's a life
stars...
experience, though.
Yeah. So the stars align. I think we both are very we're both ready for this, but also I feel like I deserve him and he deserves me.
Yes.
It's that partnership of, we are partners and we are life partners and we're lovers and we're best friends. And I feel very, very
And
lucky.
support each other.
Yeah,
Unconditionally from what I
couldn't
can
do it
gather.
without him, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And vice versa,
Beautiful
I'm
young,
sure.
little. He's growing up from being a baby now. He's
know,
3
he's a
now, isn't
boy.
he? Oliver Chase.
Yeah,
Such
Oliver
a
Chase.
Speaking of
great
Chase, you're doing a bit of that in the airport. I was watching social media. That was funny.
Oh, traveling with a child. Like, it's been
kids.
amazing. And I really hope that these are his first memories because, we had the best time in Europe together and it was really needed family time, like just to regroup and just feel that, 24/7 with each other, which was really great. But I think he's the most well-travelled little 3-year-old.
Isn't that
Incredible.
wonderful? Great
The dynamics
information.
of a relationship change, don't they, when you have a child?
Oh, it's testing. I mean,
How was that?
we originally bought a king-size bed when we bought our home because we had this envision of having like loads of kids in it. Oh my God, our household now is musical beds. Like Cam's in the spare room, Ollie's in my bed, I'm in his bed. Like,
That's
I
how
just
it
love
rolls.
this.
oh,
It's just-
I'm just like because I'm quite on and I function to quite a high energy. That if I get woken up at 3 a.m., unfortunately, that's me. Like I'm on, and
Wow.
and then I'm just ruined for the rest of the day. So we're the sleep thing in our house because he just comes into our room. But it's just everything's a new stage, isn't it? You just
It
got to
is.
work out each stage.
And it gets better and better and
Yeah.
better.
It does get
Any
better.
more kids?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we're really trying. We're really trying. So
Jules, that's inspiring. Do you mind if you share your age with
yeah,
us?
I'm 41.
I see. I
Great,
love to
yeah.
hear
I'm
that.
hearing that
I had
too.
my last at 38.
Yeah.
I love it because there's a lot of women I hear, younger women in their 30s, saying to me, "Oh, the pressure is on. They're anxious. Oh, I'm leaving it too late. Whatever." I'm like, "No, you're not. Get out of your head.
Yeah.
Just
I had
chill.
Ollie at 38 and I was
Yeah.
very much convinced that it was going to come with a fight, and that is because of all the reasons you're talking about from society. And I mean, you look back to, caveman times, like we were having children up to our 50s,
There
like
you
it's
go.
it's
There
it's
you
go.
it is here, and it is very much I'd love for the government to get behind a campaign for young women to be promoted in a way of like, let's just, it's not obviously guaranteed, but let's freeze your eggs in your 20s. Like, let's not push this pressure on ourselves in our 30s where, you know what, you end up making some bad choices and being
Yeah.
with the wrong person because something came over me. Trust me, I got to
Yeah.
like 35 and my mum always said she didn't really think I'd have children because I was so career focused. And then all of a sudden this need of wanting to love something more than myself like happened. And, before I went on MAFs, I had someone ask my father if they could marry me. Like I had options. I had some great candidates
sure.
along the
Right.
way, but I wanted to have that proper love. And I knew that I'd be selling myself short just to have a child.
Good
Really-
awareness.
Yeah, I think it's really important that young women just do think in advance.
I don't think a lot of them actually acknowledge that because
and then something happens, and then you're in your 30s, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I
Yes.
really want this, and then
Yeah.
you do get a little
I'm
bit
sure
desperate.
Jules discusses
do.
it too because she's got
Yeah.
a very successful podcast, The Juggling Act.
Yes.
And that's where you discuss a lot
That's
of
what you're
these
doing.
things too,
Oh,
isn't it?
we just
which is
overshare. We
it's
just
how you're
overshare.
mindful.
I mean, it's Cam and I, we do have, our life is quite public, and it's lovely that so many people are quite invested in our story and our journey. And for me, I think if I've done anything in the world when a woman beelines me in the street and I'm like, oh shit, do I know you? Yeah. And she speaks to me like I know her, but she says, you've made me feel and think that I can meet my guy, and like if I've done that, that's to me, like that's doing a good thing in the world.
Talk about an inspiration in so many areas in life, Jules.
Oh, thank you.
You really are that way, and it's just. And where did you get that confidence or that sort of from? What would you put it down to?
I definitely.
It's a great question, Nicola,
It's been
you're full of it, literally.
Yeah,
it's oozing out of you.
It's not something that's naturally come. Like I can honestly say, in my 20s, like was very much my journey to worthy, and I think those things come from making mistakes, and when you fall down, you pick yourself up, and I think that was very much a learning stage. And I probably wouldn't say it was probably my early 30s that I really did step into like, this is me and this is who I am, and that's from doing a lot of work. I do kinesiology on myself, and that's very much for me a way to know who I am and to know my so-called flaws or whatever they may be and be okay with them. But it's not something, I think, as I said before, not everyone can always feel great all the time. I don't always feel great all the time, but I naturally do have a force within me that always just says to myself that, just give it a go. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I can do it.
What an attitude.
Yeah, but I think
I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I can do it.
Yeah, and I've told myself that a lot.
That's a Jules quote.
And I really mean that, because I think in life you just got to, look at the UK. It was honestly the hardest thing I've ever done. But January the 1st, I was talking about Figur Active. I was like, I'd love to do an activewear line. And Cam goes, why don't we launch in the UK? And I literally thought about it for
just like that.
60 seconds.
Like a cup of tea. I'm going to launch in the UK.
Yeah. And then I just went, why not? And 6 months later we did it. But you just got to give yourself the permission to go, you know what, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But hey, what have you got to lose?
Do you have role models yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a few mentors that I have with like business and coaching and things like that. I find inspiration from many different things, from even like socials as well, from people you haven't even met before, like just listening and learning. But no, I think it's important to have people to go to in your life to look up to and have advice from, and people that have your corner and have your back. I think that's...
Do you talk to Cam a lot about shit, or you have to go in the field and make more objective?
We definitely make those times of like, date nights and times to ourselves, because it's very
important.
easy to just talk about
so
work
important.
all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What
or your
Jules
child.
just said.
And then you sit there just flicking through your phone looking at pictures of your kid. You're like, what's this about?
Yes.
But do you actually, like, okay, we haven't been together alone for 2 weeks or whatever. Do you say, right, you, me, dinner tonight?
We try.
Yeah,
we definitely
see?
try. It's hard.
See,
When you've got a family, like in a perfect world,
Yes,
we would.
yes.
But, we definitely have those moments where we sit down and we plan and we like vision and we go, okay, what are we going to be doing? Let's do this, let's do that. And, we do a lot of training on courses together, like coaching and things like that. So
And you
we're
do
very
a lot,
much...
you work together, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, how do you maintain a relationship and working together? How do you maintain that
Good question.
equilibrium?
Do you know what? Like I
really
feel,
need to know.
Well, when COVID came around and it was lockdown, we were like, well, we got this. We've already done one with each other. Like we spent 24/7 for 3 months filming. Like that is the biggest test on any relationship when you're with someone that amount of time. Like you can easily just get frustrated.
Not to mention the
Spotlight.
cameras. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
All
totally.
over you. Yeah.
So that was a big test. And then we just somehow do well spending a lot of time with each other. Like we're very healthy in the sense that we give each other the space to still be individuals and do our own thing, but we always come back together. And I think that's really important in a relationship,
very
to
much
have that
so.
respect that I'll big you up when you need it,
Yep.
and and vice versa. And if I look back at the trajectory of our relationship and personal things that we were doing, we couldn't have both been doing this at the same time. He was there for me, and now that I've obviously created Figur and it's established, now it's his time to be working on what he's doing.
And he does a lot with mental health, doesn't he?
Exactly. And he's doing so well in that field.
Wonderful.
Was
So
Gus
he's-
Wallen too with his...
He's an ambassador for Gotcha for
we
Life.
love
because
Gus.
We've had Gus
Yeah.
on the program and we're
Yeah.
big supporters
Really
of
affected
that. And
me.
I thought he was doing some stuff with
Yeah,
Gus.
he's just really, really good at it. He's honestly like, when someone's like, can you just stop being the best human in the whole world?
Yeah.
We heard him. We all were at Gabby
you
Bernstein,
just
who was
say
fantastic,
yes?
and all of a sudden this male voice came out and asked
Yes.
this incredible question. And I was going, gee, that man's well spoken, and gee, he's got that's the right question.
we're
I
way
turned
on the other
around,
side.
and it's Cam.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, and I love that
Again, brave, because there's 50 billion women. And I
one
thought,
of the very few
who
men
are
there.
you?
And it was just a really wise question. I think about this sort of like the spirit and the soul and who you are.
Yeah, we were
like it's
saying
sort of-
that he was firstly congratulating all the men in the room to say,
Yes.
even if you're
Yes.
here just supporting
It was
your
great.
wife,
Yes.
we need more men like you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay to be on a spiritual journey and be open with that. And his question was to Gabby was, you know, when she spoke so much about the inner child, he was like, we don't want our son in 20 years' time sitting here with, you know, saying the same things. Like, how do we navigate that to just protect that inner child that, you know, in their first 7 years of life is when they're coded, right, to how they think and how they feel.
But I love that
very
question.
relative question.
Yeah.
Very,
Well, that's what
very.
Cam's learning now as well, like recoding of the brain, like how to recode and how to retrain yourself, how to think. And as we're saying, so much of that stuff is done when you're little, and it's really hard to step out of that, of how you've just programmed your brain to think like that's just how I think. So he's doing amazing. And as I said, you know, now I'm really supporting him and pushing him up to, you know, as I said, I
the
don't think we-
pendulum swings.
Yeah,
I
well,
love
as I said, I don't think we
that.
both could have
It's
done
your
it.
turn.
We would have been
Yes.
ships in the night and been lost, you know. So yeah, I'm super proud of him, and I know he's making a difference.
Very
too.
conscious relationship. Both
It
of them
really is-
aware.
They're both contributing.
Eyes open.
I tell you what, your little boy, what a gem.
Oliver.
With parents like you two.
Oliver,
My genes didn't even try, so I've got like a look at
Say
him.
I know.
I'm
I agree
like,
with that too.
I literally gave birth to you. Can you just give me something?
I was looking, going, there's supposed to be a little
So
bit of
cute.
Jules in
No.
there. I'm going, I'm still
Cam
trying to
says
find it.
He has
mini
my
Cam,
dimple
isn't
and he has my strength. That's
Oh,
what,
hello.
that's what Cam
Oh,
says.
good
Because when he was learning to walk, he just was like, "Go away! I'm not even holding your hand." I was like,
okay,
"Okay,
I
that's
love
me."
it.
Well, you're enjoying it if you're thinking about having another one.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, my husband would love a little girl. I'm at the stage where I'm like, just give me one. We're working on it as best as we can. We're being realistic, so we're just giving a little bit longer, and we'll intervene where we have to. But we really do want
So
to.
is that your next major big goal?
Do you know what? I did an interview the other week, and you know, it was like, what's most important to you right now? And as much as I've just gone and done this amazing, you know, big thing in the UK, and I'm working with ITV and presenting, and you know, like everything's really good
You
in
met
that.
Jamie Oliver too, didn't you?
Oh my God! Oh, yes, I
He's a
know.
groover.
He's
Hot
so
potatoes?
lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it was actually like when I got asked that question, it was like, you know what it is to grow my family. Like, as much as all of that is all on the outside and it's all amazing, I want nothing more than to give my son a little brother or sister, and just to have that little family unit. And I think if there's a will, there's a way. And you know, I do believe that. And I think, you know, if say for some reason it doesn't, you know, we can always find another way.
How on earth do you find the balance in your life?
How do I find the balance? Oh, I'd love to give you like a really inspirational reason. As how I
No,
do,
not at
but-
all. Like,
I'm learning. This is something that I'm really learning to do. Last year, about November, I was like on the verge of burnout, like 100% I was. And I took
get it.
Yeah. And I took myself to Bali to Soul Shine, and their ethos is make your soul shine and inspire others to do the same. Cam didn't even know where we were going. He thought we were going to drink pina coladas on the beach in Bali somewhere. Like, that's how busy we were. Like, it was just, yeah, it was like, let's
then
just
it was
yeah, it was like, let's just get to the point where we get on that plane. And anyway, so we arrive in Bali and we're going up the hill of Ubud, like it's very spiritual, going up the hill, and Cam's like, where are we going? I'm like, the beach
Where's
is
the
like down that way.
bar?
There's no hill, there's no beaches at the top of this mountain. Anyway, we got there, and it was incredible with Michael Franti, and he is an activist, he's a songwriter, he's an international star, and his music is really poetic, and he actually owns a resort. So every day with these people, there's about 60 of us, we did yoga, and then we talked through the pillars of life, and sat in soul circles, and we learnt to talk and not reply to people, you know, just let people talk. And that was a really amazing lesson. But when I walked in that room and sat there for 2 minutes on the floor, and she went, this is what we're doing, the power of Ubud, it's very spiritual. You can't help but go through some magical kind of journey there. But I just burst into tears, and I looked at Cam and I said, I just know how much I need to be here. You know, it's like that last pillar of my life that I need to conquer, which is, you know, taking a bit of leaf out of Cam's book. You know, he gets up at 4 a.m, he'll go to the beach, he'll swim in the ocean, he'll write in his journal, he'll meditate, he'll have gratitude, he'll go to the gym. You know, he's very good at what makes him rest and feel good. Me, I'm just a machine, you know? So we're very...
I love the way you admit that.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
you
I
Start
just...
the engine.
Yeah.
I acknowledge it too.
How did you implement all of that in Ubud back into your life here?
I then, you know, and then I went on to it. Then from there, they went home, and I had some time by myself. I really needed some time by myself. And as I said, that's again Cam and I giving each other the space to go, I really need this. And even I was meant to leave, and I got to the airport like a crazy woman.
Went back.
And I went to get on the plane. They're like boarding, and I just was like, he messaged me, he had this sixth sense, and he said, are you okay? He was in a conference, like I think it was a mental health conference. And I said, no. And he said, what's wrong? I said, I don't think I want to go. And he said,
I'm moving here forever.
And his message wrote back, he said, fuck it, do what you want to do.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and so
I
then
think everyone needs a Cam in their
So
life.
I ran through the airport like crazy woman. And I'll never forget her. Her name was Jackie, and she was like, "Are you
Was
okay?"
she the one that dropped you?
No, she was just this manager on the side of the airport, and then literally, I had "Welcome back, Jules" on the bed.
Don't you
and
love it? A
She
lot of
just
us
was.
think it, but-
She was like, "What do you need? We'll fix it." And then she just changed my flight. It was like that God was looking after me. And then so I've just really, really tried. As I say, like I'm being honest. It's a pillar that I'm really trying to work on because I know that I'm definitely not there yet. You know,
Do you walk? Do you go gym?
Yeah,
do you
I do a 5-minute Gabby Bernstein meditation. That's enough for
Well,
me.
that's
don't you love it,
beautiful.
the machine?
Yeah.
5 minutes, Gabby Bernstein.
know what?
That's enough for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
But
But it works.
sometimes
Yeah.
that's all you need.
Yep,
you
I
know,
agree.
And I think that's, when you are a high energy person, just to stop for that 5 minutes, if that works for you.
Yeah.
So what else? You got to give me something else. Come on. You're just too dynamic. She does the 5 minutes.
Downtime. Yeah.
Oh, so what else do I do?
Yeah.
Not very good, but I'm a bit of a mumby. It's like a mum and a zombie. So sometimes I watch Netflix for way too long and too late.
That's a goodie. No. I get
a
it.
mumby. Like,
Need to
'cause
say
it's-
that.
I get
I used to go
that.
to the cinema by myself a lot.
Yeah, no,
I used to
no.
love that.
You just-
Escapism.
She's
How's
just used.
that?
I know. We're just talking
See, I
about
only
that
just
before.
started doing that.
A lot of women, even older, would never
Loved
do
it.
that. It was one of those
No.
things. Whereas
It's
I think it's
escapism.
fantastic.
Makes you
can
just
do
feel
that.
like this is me and that, and this is my time.
Yes.
So I used to do that a lot, and obviously that hasn't happened in a very long time.
No,
but now, like, I enjoy that time. But no, I definitely go to the gym, exercise. That does seem to help. Yeah, I'm not great at that kind of thing.
What about
I need
music or podcasts? Do you listen to?
Yeah, I'm definitely a driver and a podcaster.
Okay, yes.
That's the thing.
We love
That's
that.
another thing where I'm like
Yeah.
always on, But then
Yes.
sometimes I'm like, I just want to drive in silence, and I do that too, like just to be like nothing.
But look, Jules,
Yeah.
we're coming up to the end of it, and we've got a
Yeah.
couple of our signature questions.
Ooh.
So, what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self? Turning the clock
There's
back,
so
not that
many
far,
things that I would
but-
tell my 20-year-old self. Trust me, there's a lot of dumb shit that I've done.
I love that. I love that honesty.
I think a lot of mistakes not mistakes, but a really good lesson as women that we should kind of tap in on is that I think when you're older, you always look back at photos of yourself and you go, God, I look smoking. I look so hot. But in the time, but you look back, and you know actually how you felt in that moment. Like you're in your 20s or you're a teenager and you're like going, oh, I want to lose weight or I want to be this, I want to be that. Like, can you admit that you've done
such
that?
a great
When
way
I
of-
was 20,
I,
it
do you know what? I don't think I've
never
ever
saw
heard
the
anyone
beauty.
say
Yeah.
it, but I can so
Yeah.
relate to it. You do look at pictures and you go, whoa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
and
"Oh,
you
fabulous."
do.
And but you know,
Yeah.
at the time then you could have been
Yeah.
insecure. You had to fight with your boyfriend, or you were
Yeah.
someone who wasn't
Totally.
very nice
Yeah.
to you, and you just
Yeah.
put up with it. And all,
Yeah.
So that's my point is like, you know
Yeah.
what? In 10 years' time, you're going to look back on yourself right now and say, oh my God, I look great. So just enjoy the body that you're in, the gift that you're given, and just love yourself, And I think that's a big lesson that I've had because I know there were times in my younger 20s where I wasn't confident and I didn't, like my body or I wasn't happy with who I was. And then you look back and you're like, that was such a waste of energy.
Waste.
So, I mean, there's so many things, and then that comes into Figur's motto, which is sexy isn't a size, it's a mindset.
I just heard a line recently where it was, I'm 65. I'm embracing that. Why would I want to look like a 25-year-old or a 35-year-old or a 45? I'm 65 and I'm happy in that. I went, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Truth, honesty, authenticity, you know?
But that's another thing, like just trusting those timings of your life too. Like, because as we were saying before, like as women, you do go like, oh, time and this and that. And like,
Yep.
just trust it. Like it's going to be okay.
Yeah,
So
sit
that's,
in that.
yeah, I think they're probably, so there's many things I'd tell my 20-year-old self.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's
not
some
to
great
do.
ones.
Yeah, what not to do. I love that one. Last question. If you had an opportunity to meet anyone over the back fence, who would that be and why?
Oh,
Anybody, dead, alive, lives on the other side of the universe?
I've got a few on my little hit list that I'd love to meet. At the moment, I'm a big fangirl of Kate Winslet.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love
Now,
to
why
see
now?
you.
Oh, I mean, I always
Yeah,
have been. I've
me
always
too.
liked her, but in the last 12 months, she's really opened up who she is and her opinions and how, like, having children and just how she is with them. And I just like anything that comes out of her mouth, I'm like, I just want to be your mate.
Yeah,
I want to be your best friend.
Yeah, love that.
So I think she'd be a great
We'll be on the
neighbour.
brunch listening to that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just think she's fabulous. Joanna Lumley, she's always someone that I'd
Hysterical.
love to be
We'd
friends
love
with.
it,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Where's the
She can live on the other side. She can she can live on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
Like all you'd see is the hair.
Yeah.
She'd be a fun neighbour, wouldn't she? I agree.
Bloody
Yep,
believe,
yep.
and so intelligent and so wise and so honest. You know, she doesn't hold back.
So they're the two that come to my mind.
I love both,
Yeah.
and we both love you.
We
Aw, thank you.
No, I mean
absolutely
it.
love you, Jules.
We are on team.
So thank you
Jules.
so much.
Yeah.
We're really honoured to have you
Yeah.
here. We really are. We've
You're
wanted you for a
amazing.
long time, haven't we?
like
Thank
ridiculous.
you.
Yeah,
We've waited,
seriously.
and I'll tell
Yeah.
you what's been worth the wait.
Yeah, and you just get it going from strength to strength.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And more
Congratulations
power
to you. I'm
More
creating
power
all
to
this.
you.
You're doing
Thank
amazing.
you.
Everyone, thank you
Keep
for
it-
listening. We'll
Yeah.
be your ears next Monday.
Yeah,
And,
Monday.
how many
Not far
stars do we want, Di?
I think I might just be a bit more practical this week. We might go 25.
25, okay. We
Go
can do
for
that
the old
times
25.
Reach for the stars.
Aim high.
Well, thank
That's
you for
us.
listening, everybody.
Look forward to chatting to you then.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.